Restore your health, be renewed. You gotta take control to see a breakthrough. You're only one step away from a life made better. A life made better. A life made better.
Greetings to all of our dedicated listeners of the Restore Your Health podcast. I'm your host, Laronda, and today we have a special guest on the show. She's licensed counselor, Miss Elizabeth Lewis of PACE Services. Today we'll be talking about mental balance. We all know that we all need some mental balance in our lives. So today we'll be talking about that, asking her a few questions. I'm going to introduce her, but before we do that, let me start by stating that all content shared on the show are for informational and educational purposes only, not meant to cure, diagnose, or treat any disease. I like to start with a little inspiration. Today's inspiration quote simply says, once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you'll start having positive results. How true that is. Oftentimes, we always think about the negative, but what about the positive? If you can replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts, your outcome will be much, much greater. Okay. And you will begin to see life in a better light. So today we're going to talk with our professional counselor, Miss Elizabeth Lewis. Thank you, Miss Lewis, for being on the show today. We're so excited that you're on, and we have some interesting questions for you today. We're talking about mental balance, mental health. We know that we've all just came out of the pandemic, and a lot of people have been shuttered in. And so we're out in the world now, out and about, and we're doing life together, so to say. And so we need to know how we can balance our lives,
Yes.
how we can better balance our lives. And so I'm gonna share with you guys my slide. And we have a slide here. So I'm gonna share that with you guys. And then we're gonna go on and ask our questions. So let me know when you guys get this here. So we're going to share that. There we are. You guys got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here we are. And and at the end of our broadcast, she's going to leave her information. So you guys will have her information, where her business is located, where you can contact her, and where you can get services from. All right. So, Miss Lewis, our first question is, in your experience dealing with various mental health issues, what is the most important thing to be aware of in someone dealing with depression?
Absolutely. Yeah. So one of the things that I find to be most important with dealing with someone who's dealing with depression is to be aware of what they aren't telling you. A lot of times we ask people kind of on a superficial level, like, hey, how you doing? How are things going? Just to kind of do check ends, and people usually respond, oh, I'm doing good, everything's okay, right? And then we go on about our day, but not realizing how different depression looks from person to person. And so if it's someone we care about, I think just looking at what they're not saying, maybe how they're dealing or how they're dealing with day-to-day housekeeping things, how they're presenting themselves, to really decide to kind of dig a little deeper, other than just the I'm okay and moving on like that.
Yeah, that's so important. I know, as for me, I'm like a natural introvert, right? So if it's something bothering me, I probably won't say it a lot. I may be in that category of those people who say, yeah, I'm okay, but really, maybe something a little deeper going on that day. And I may just kind of brush it off.
Yeah.
So, I can really relate to that. A lot of people are introverts. And for those who are introverts, you do kind of hold those feelings in. You don't really express them. For someone who's going through depression, it's really important for us to dig a little bit deeper and to, just go beyond the surface of I'm okay, or yes, the mundane answer of if everything's okay, when it's really not. You can probably see the sign or the telltale signs in someone. We really know a person, when we spend more time with them, you kind of get to know that person's character and how they are. And
Mhm.
you know when someone's really not feeling their best. So, kind of digging a little bit deeper or going beyond, asking more questions. Yeah, that's very important. And I can really relate to that. And like I said, a lot of people who are introverts
Yes.
do fall into that character and do some of those things. Um, Now, let me ask you this. What do you think are some conditions that can play a role in a person um, being being not forthcoming, not to so to say that forthcoming, but not just coming out telling all the information up front? What do you think kind of hinders that?
Yeah. I mean, for sure, stigma, right? Stigmas that are associated with mental health issues. You have cultural implications. A lot of times, especially in the African American community, we have been taught to, deal with our issues, suppress, be strong, keep it moving. So when you don't feel comfortable enough to say, I'm not feeling good, something's going on with me. I think that definitely plays into people feeling more open to what's going on with them.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So it's very important for us to, just go a little bit deeper and have that candid one-on-one conversation with those that we love, and kind of pay a little bit more attention to what's going on. So our second question is, what are some key warning signs of exhaustion? Which we all have, right? Warning signs to look for in someone thinking about suicide. That what words does someone use when they're at risk, a person who's at risk of suicide?
Yeah, these are really good questions and things that a lot of times we may not take the time to reflect on.
Hmm.
First off, just even understanding what exhaustion is. It's both physical and mental fatigue. And so warning signs are going to show up in various ways, right? So there's the person who's having a difficulty time concentrating on tasks or getting things done. There's the person who's feeling more tired easily. There's the person who's disconnecting from relationships caused by stress for lifestyle choices. So we have these warning signs that we can kind of be more keen to when we're thinking about, am I exhibiting exhausted? Because we can be tired, everyone's tired, but
Yeah.
exhaustion is beyond that, right? Um, and when we talk about warning for someone who may be contemplating suicide, first off, anyone that is talking or thinking about suicide, expressing things like wanting to die or kill themselves, saying they have no reason to live, they are at a risk. And so, for that person, please seek help immediately today. You can call, there's a suicide hotline that you can call or text. That's 24 hours, it's 988. Again, that's 988. You can text or call that crisis lifeline. But some other warning signs could be someone's increased use of alcohol and drugs, withdrawing from friends and social situations, feeling isolated. People who
Hmm.
may be talking about being a burden or
Yeah.
experiencing some extreme mood swings. The words that someone would use who's at risk, you may hear someone saying, I'm helpless, or, I'm a burden. I don't want to be a burden. The world would just be a better place without me. So listening, right, to what people would say that would help you know if they were at risk.
Right. And that's so
You could
important.
just clearly check in. As a
Yeah.
therapist, I don't tiptoe around suicide. It's a direct question.
Hmm.
Are you thinking of killing yourself? And people surprisingly will tell you if they are.
Yeah, they will. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that it's a very sensitive question, but it's something that has really emerged since the pandemic. A lot of people have, lost jobs, and the socioeconomic status has changed. Their home environment has changed. So a lot of things are different in
Yeah.
their day-to-day lives, and it's put a lot of stressors. And sometimes people don't know how to effectively deal with that, and how to navigate their life, going
Mhm.
forward. So um, people think that there's no hope. And so I think it's very important to have a balance. That's why, we have a positive, a positive meditation session that we review out on our other podcast that comes out on Sundays. And it's just talking
Okay.
about affirmations, positive affirmations, reaffirming who you are, and just giving hope and encouragement to people, because people need hope and encouragement. They need to know that they have a team. They need to know that someone's there,
Absolutely.
and they need to know
Absolutely.
that they are seen, that they are valued, that they are loved, they're wanted. People need to know that. And when they know that someone else cares for them, then they can, have that hope, and they can, be more open to talk to someone about those feelings, those, hopeless feelings, or feelings of having suicidal thoughts and things of that nature. And it's very important for us to be more mindful of that, and just kind of look out for the signs, and being sensitive to the subject, and to those people who are going through uh, those type of triggers. My third question is, how can you add positive mental balance to your daily lives? We're talking about positive mental balance. What are some resources
Mhm.
and proven ways to help someone who has severe depression? What are some ways that you've used in your business and your tactics with your clients that have been proven effective?
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So resources, well, positive balance first. Eating right, exercising, and sleep, right? Go
Yes.
a long way when we talk about incorporating something into our daily lives. And it's oftentimes always the answer for so many things, often the most neglected three, right? People don't always make mindful, healthy choices with what they put in their body. Exercise feels more like a chore, so people often don't want to do that. And sleep, this society believes that you don't need sleep, right? Work, don't rest, and all of those are just wrong. And so if
Yeah.
you want to find positive mental balance, really start there. Start with what you put in your body. Start
Mhm.
with taking a walk, getting outside, or working out in your home, and start with going to bed right on time,
That's it.
and then creating some healthy bedtime routines,
Yes.
and resources that have helped people with major depressive disorder. Is first an understanding, right? I always make sure that clients are educated on depression, knowing it to be a mood disorder, that it affects how one feels and thinks, and it affects how a person is able to show up for themselves
Mhm.
and handle day-to-day activities like sleeping and eating
Mhm.
and working and exercising, the same things that you need to maintain and incorporate positive mental balance. So a person who is suffering from depression is going to have challenges in those areas. And so ways to know how to maybe start helping that person, encouraging them to see their healthcare provider, right? Things are more accessible now. That is something that we did get out of the pandemic, is that telehealth and hotlines are at our fingertips, right? You can make day appointments to see providers, and to talk to people so that you can get more resources that can help you with that. Also, lifestyle changes that I usually suggest, going to be exercise. I'm going to say it over and over because
Yes,
exercise boosts your mood, right? It changes how
does.
you feel. Healthy eating, right? There's a difference between if you let yourself eat a salad, every week, versus if you just eat out fast food. There's a difference in how you feel
Yes, it
between
is.
those. And connecting with people that you trust. People sometimes feel like I don't have anybody I could to, or that will be there for me. And so it's good to know who your core support group is, because those are going to be the people you want to lean on.
Yes, that's so good.
And of course,
Um,
that sleep routine. I'm telling you, sleep. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said I was just saying that was so so good. And you're so right. Having that support system, people that have your back, so to say, that are there for you. They have a listening ear to hear what you have to say, and they have a heart,
Yeah.
for what's bothering you, what concerns you. Having that group is very important. And of course, exercising, which we all, we the let's just be honest, the flesh does not want to exercise. Okay, it doesn't. If you have an exercise regimen where you're exercising 15 minutes out of the day, the flesh does not want to do that. Okay, your body is like, I'm in shutdown mode. I'm still in sleep mode. I really don't want to exercise. So we have to make ourselves exercise. So it's very important to get exercise because when we do exercise, we feel a lot better. We look better, we feel better about ourselves, we can breathe better. Exercise is it's good. The
Yeah.
body was meant to be in motion. And I talk a lot about,
Mhm.
exercise, about eating well and all this in my new book, Live, Sleep, and Eat Well. It has a section in there about your mental health, mental wellness, self-care, exercising and eating right. Those components when combined together equals good health. And so your mind, body,
Yeah.
spirit, and soul will all come in alignment, in perfect alignment. And so when we can do that and do it on a regular basis, then we can see good results. But you're so right about that, getting rest.
Mhm.
That's another thing, because we're in the society where we all have our phones, right? I'm guilty of it. Hey, I have my phone, and before I go to bed, you're checking your
Mhm.
email, you're checking your phone. And sometimes, I like to listen to a lot of lectures and different pastors. So I listen to a lot of that before I go to bed to keep my mind in a positive state. And so a lot of times I might have my
Mhm.
phone by my desk next to my nightstand next to my bed, and I might click it on my favorite person to hear before I go to bed, and whoever that is, and maybe a couple of people. But I'll do that, and sometimes that will interrupt your sleep because your brain is still hearing what's going on, so you can't really relax and settle down. So it's
Yes,
very important to just go ahead and put the phone away. Okay, it'll be there tomorrow. Put
exactly.
that phone away so that you can get that rest.
Mhm. Exactly.
And we talk about getting at least 6 to 8 hours of rest is important. So yes, that's very, very important. What are some triggers that you think to be aware of and to stay away from when dealing with someone experiencing mental health conditions?
Yeah. So triggers equal stressors,
Hmm.
right? Our triggers are the things that also stress us, which then lead to emotional reactions. So I think everything is about awareness.
Yes.
So understanding a person's triggers can be very helpful for the person and to the person who's trying to support somebody. Anyone is trying to offer support to somebody that's dealing with mental health, knowing that triggers can be internal and external. And so when we are aware of what someone's being triggered by, we can
Hmm.
decide if this is something we can help them with, or if this is something we need to maybe refer them to, encourage them to talk to someone, a pastor, a friend, a
Hmm.
mental health provider, their healthcare provider, so that that also doesn't somehow start triggering us too. So
Yeah,
we have to be protective of our mental health while also understanding how certain things could be triggering somebody else's mental health.
that's awesome. Wow. You guys, I hope you're getting all this in, all this great information. And then our last question is, do you believe that traditional medicine is the answer for treating mental health conditions in everyone? If not, why? And what are some other ways to cope?
Yeah. So short answer, no. Traditional medicine is sometimes necessary,
Hmm.
depending on the mental health illness.
Hmm.
And it often will be a part of someone's treatment for diagnosis and illnesses such as like schizophrenia, bipolar, and psychosis. Those are gonna need to be treated by traditional medicine. Now, clients have the choice between medication and therapy, and many choose both to incorporate both, so that can be helpful. But I'm an advocate for client choice when choice is an option. So I always go with whatever the client feels comfortable with, because my belief in that what won't matter to the client. They need to know what's best for them in their
Hmm.
journey and what they feel like they'll be comfortable with sticking with. Because some people don't want to do medicine because they know they can't keep up with the prescription.
That's
They're
right.
like, I can't keep up taking pills and I don't want to start something and can't keep it up. So, coping though, in terms of other ways that someone can cope, asking for support, creating healthy boundaries, creating emotional awareness, and really thinking about what strategies are important to me to help me manage positive and negative internal and external situations, because that's what coping actually is. It's your ability to know how to manage those interactions. So you have to know what works for you. There are thousands, right? Hundreds of coping skills, and they're not always
Yes.
how I may need to cope, may not be how the next person needs to cope, because it's how
Yes.
we need to manage that experience
Oh,
ourselves. So
that's
you've
very
got the person
important.
who likes to run. Great for them. If that
Hmm.
works for them, let that be their coping skill. It's not going to work for me necessarily. I like to run to get you know, the relief of increasing the mood, but that's not my first thought, right? So we just have to know what's important to us.
Wow, that's awesome. Knowing what to do, knowing how to cope, and knowing that there are so many other various other ways that you can cope. Like she said, you can exercise, and like for some conditions, it does, need the traditional medicine. But for some, we also offer the non-traditional medicine, which will bring into our herbs and herbal supplements and things of that nature, exercising, mindful meditation, things of that nature to help, prayer, speaking to someone who you trust, and you can open up with. All of these are beneficial ways of helping someone cope who's going through depression, and for those who are experiencing prolonged or delayed depression, um, grief and things of that nature. We've seen a lot of that
Mhm.
lately, um, for various reasons. And I know that, for us, we've had, some of that going on. And so it's been quite the experience, but we have been focusing on positive ways to deal with it, like the mindful meditation, prayer time, exercising, rest. All these things work together to maintain our mental balance
Yeah.
and wellness. So we are so
Yeah.
appreciative for you being on the show this morning. We value your time. We value your experience. We value your knowledge. And so many people will be blessed when they, get to see and get to know that there are other resources out there that can help them to become their best person now. Can you tell the people where they can locate you, where your business, where your website, your information, your contact, all of that, your social media platforms? Can you just give us that information before we leave today?
Absolutely. So you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Get Case Support. So that's GetCaseSupport on all platforms. Our website, www.getcasesupport.com, and our office phone number, 404-800-4002. Someone will answer and get you started on your journey, help towards that. And we're located in Fayetteville for those who are looking for office appointments at 500 West Lanier Avenue, Suite 103 in Fayetteville, Georgia, 30214.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Miss Lewis, for joining us on the Restore Your Health podcast. Like I said,
Yes.
it's been a blast, and we are so appreciative for your information. Well, guys, that concludes this week of the Restore Your Health podcast. If you like this video, click the subscribe button and share it with a friend. Until next time, have an amazing week, everyone. Don't forget, if you want to purchase our book, Live, Sleep, and Eat Well, you can go on our website, at our Amazon website, or our website that will be posted in the chat box today. And also, if you would like to get any of our natural products, all that is on our website as well. So you can get that on our website at myYL / Laronda Dawson. And you can get that on our website. Everything will be posted on the bottom. So you'll get that. You'll get Miss Lewis's information where you can contact her if you need services of any kind. Please do. They are good people, very good people, very successful business. And you can contact her and get that information from her. And you can start your counseling through their services. Like I said, they're very good. And that's it for this week. We will see you here, same time. As always, it's been a blast. And we'll see you here next week on the Restore Your Health podcast. Have an amazing week, everyone.
Restore your health, be renewed. You got gotta take control. To see a breakthrough, you're only one step away from a life made better. A life made better. A life made better.